They left the royal family. That's the story everyone knows. But here's the question people are starting to ask more and more. If Meghan Markle and Prince Harry truly stepped away from royal life, why does everything they do still feel so royal? From global tours to high-profile appearances, the structure may be gone, but the influence? Still very much there. So today we're breaking it down. Are they really independent, or are they still operating within the royal brand? Let's start with the facts. Back in 2020, Meghan and Harry made a decision that changed everything. They stepped back from their roles as senior working royals. That meant no official duties on behalf of the monarchy, no public funding tied to royal responsibilities, and no formal representation of the crown. On paper, that's a clean break. Institutionally, they are no longer part of the working royal system. But here's where things get complicated, because leaving the system doesn't mean leaving the identity behind. Even after stepping away, they are still known as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, members of the royal family, global figures tied to the monarchy. And that matters, because titles carry weight. They open doors. They attract attention. They create instant credibility. And whether intentional or not, that identity continues to shape how the world sees them. Now here's the real question. Is it possible to separate the person from the title? Or are those two things permanently linked? Before we go further, I want to hear your take. Do you think Meghan and Harry have truly moved on from royal life, or are they still connected to it in a major way? Drop your opinion in the comments. I read them and I respond. And if you want more breakdowns like this, where we go beyond headlines and really analyze what's happening, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because this conversation, it's only getting deeper. Now, let's look at what people actually see. When Meghan and Harry travel internationally, what does it look like? Public appearances, media coverage across the globe, crowds gathering to see them, carefully structured events. It looks very familiar. In fact, to the average viewer, it doesn't look that different from a royal tour. And that's where the tension comes in. Because even without official backing, the presentation still feels royal. So people start to ask, is this just coincidence? Or is the royal framework still being used, just in a different way? Here's where things shift. When they were working royals, their influence served the institution. Now, their influence serves their personal ventures. That includes media projects, public speaking, brand development, strategic partnerships. And this is where critics and supporters split. Some people say they've built their own path. That's independence. Others argue that path still relies heavily on the royal connection. And both sides have a point, because the truth sits somewhere in the middle. This is the core of the entire debate. They stepped away to gain independence, but their visibility is still deeply tied to what they left behind. And that creates a contradiction, because if the titles still matter, the image still feels royal, the influence still connects to the monarchy, then the question becomes, can you ever fully leave something like that? Or does it stay with you, no matter what direction you take? This conversation isn't happening in a vacuum. It's happening right now because of their recent moves, their international presence, their public positioning, their growing focus on brand and influence. All of it is putting this question back in the spotlight, because the more visible they become, the more people start analyzing not just what they're doing, but what it represents. So where does that leave us? Are Meghan and Harry still using their royal status? Or are they simply navigating a reality where that status can't be separated from who they are? The answer isn't simple. But one thing is clear. This isn't just about leaving the royal family. It's about redefining identity, influence, and relevance in a world that still sees them through a royal lens. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video. It really helps the channel grow. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay locked in so you don't miss what's coming next. Because this story is still evolving, and we're going to keep breaking it down step by step. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.